Well, hello and welcome back to our series Overcoming Obstacles. We are in session 9. And as always, I'm Don Hastings with A to B for me. And as we go through these sessions, if you did first time you got to them, you just need to go back to the YouTube channel or Facebook or wherever you're getting this on. If you're listening to us on a podcast, just go back and grab the other podcasts. So they're out there. But we're in session 9. But if you need any help at all with any of these things, at the end we'll have some reflections and things. Then schedule a one-on-one with us at a one-on-one strategy session. You can go to a2bforme.info/15 with Don, and you can set that up. It's absolutely free. 15-minute session with me. There will be some questions that you'll be asked to ponder and be ready to discuss. 4 of them exactly, and then get those ready, and we'll have a good time. Then we can kind of go over what questions you might have from overcoming obstacles or whatever it is that you need help with. But anyway, let's get on with it for today with overcoming obstacles. Let me hop out of here so that you have a full screen. And then you won't have to see my mug until the end of the program here. So let's get going. Today we're going to talk about one of our biggest obstacles, obviously, failure. So we've got overcoming failures to reach success. And you'll notice in the graphic there's many failures that this individual is jumping away from and hopping over to success. And that's really what happens in life. It's not generally one failure that holds us back or keeps us in check. It's many that we do. And we're going to talk about those. I talk a lot about failure because I think that it's a huge part of success, and it's an educational means to gain success. So we're going to talk about failure and how to overcome them to reach success. Well, the belief you gained in yourself in the last session is going to be useful when attempting to overcome the failures you'll inevitably experience over your lifetime. And last time we talked about believing in yourself, even in the toughest times. But today's session, we're going to deal directly with overcoming failure. Because there's so many things, there's so many crises, there's so many times you just want to give up or you think you can't, and there's risks involved and different problems and things. So we want to make sure that you're prepared for that and how to deal with them directly. So let's go ahead and get rolling. Well, what is failure? To a lot of people, it's a lot of things, but the word failure is often used to describe a situation in which your desired goals were not realized at a specific point in time. So you had an objective, you didn't make the objective, so all of a sudden you're a failure. Well, no, the project didn't go as planned, maybe. But what happens is we get into this situation where we take that tag of failure, and all of a sudden depression comes in, or anger, or stress, or sorrow, or just sadness, or grief, or something, and you really just take it personal and dig in and just really make it a lot worse than it is. But let's look at again, the basic concept of failure is that you had a goal, you didn't make it when you're supposed to make it, and so quote unquote, that's a failure. Well, let's look at it a little bit deeper, what we want to talk about, because what happens is failure. You magnify the letters in the middle, and it ails you because people physically get sick. I mean, they are just distraught. They're in bed and they got the covers over their head and they're embarrassed and all these different things. So don't let the middle letters ail you. Really get to you and make it again much worse than it actually is, because there are many reasons that could have played a part in your goal not being realized, and absolutely none of them, and I'm going to repeat that, absolutely none of them have to do with your value as a person. Now, let's break down some of the ideas behind unhealthy views of failure and see how taking a more positive approach can help you realize success. Because let's take a look here. For example, if you're trying out for your high school basketball team and you don't make the cut, it doesn't make you a failure. If we look at this graphic here, a lot of people don't realize Michael Jordan didn't make his varsity team, right? But it might have been the same reason for you. It simply means that under the circumstances, under the specific circumstances that you were in at that time, the coach didn't believe that you possessed the necessary skills to play on this particular team at this point in time. And in Michael's case, he just wasn't tall enough yet. The coach didn't need him. He had guys that were bigger than him and that were going to play. So, I mean, and I'm sure the coach was like, well, you've taken a lot of grief, but the fact is he probably made the right decision for himself at that point in time because Michael just wasn't big enough. Of course, we all know that if Michael had taken this personal and believed that his value system was messed up and that he could never play basketball because he didn't make the varsity team, what would have happened to Michael? And what would have happened to all the fans and all the things that happened that were so great when Michael did finally make it and get in there and really become the greatest of all time. So think about that. I mean, is the Michael and Jordan and you depressed? Is it putting covers over your head? Are you at home crying about not making the team? Or are you going to get back to work and say, well, I'm going to make it? And it might be an I'll show them or I'll show him situation, but you don't want to. A lot of times that motivates a lot of people. And knowing what I know about Michael at this point, there probably was a lot of that in there. I'll show them type thing. But the bottom line is he didn't let it mess him up for life. He just said, hey, this is the deal. I don't think it's right, and I'm going to make it right, and I'm going to keep going. So, and that's really the attitude that you have to take. We just understand at the specific circumstances of the time might have been the reason why you didn't move forward in whatever it was that you were trying to obtain. And what much of the pain stems from when not reaching a desired goal is your attachment to the outcome. You're so worried about the outcome that you're not really paying attention to the process. And if you define your own value and worth as a person by whether or not you make a sports team or whatever, or getting that job, you're setting yourself up for that ugly 7-letter word failure. Because when we talk about really identifications in some other programs of you claiming a particular ID, or you claim yourself as a sports star, you claim yourself as a CEO, you claim yourself as a general in the military or whatever. And what happens when you retire and you lose that ID, right? Who are you then? So really, you want to think about who you are as a person. That's why we go through that, what's your why, what's your purpose, those types of things. Because really, when you're reaching a goal, just concentrate on the process. And as the process grows, you grow. And when the process is right, it'll automatically convert to the outcome. So concentrate on the process and don't attach everything to just simply the outcome. Because you may have set a goal that really shouldn't have been your goal in the first place. But through the process, you may have figured out, hey, I'm going to zig here because I think this is really the outcome I should have and not that other outcome. So if you had a lot of people say, I don't know why God doesn't just let me do that. Well, maybe you're not supposed to do that, right? And so you get up there and say, oh my goodness gracious, I'm glad my prayer wasn't answered there, because if that had happened, I'd been this and this, that, and the other, and I didn't want to do that. So let the process work itself out. Let your life work itself out, but never define your own value and worth in these things, because you just have to know who you are and just go after these things. And again, enjoy the process, the learning process. And then if it's the right outcome, it's going to happen. It's for the same reason that those who value trying their best, regardless of the outcome, have more confident and unwavering views of themselves. So you're just going to go out there and you're going to say, hey, look, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to do my best to make this thing happen, right? And you want to always do your best. But you too can have the view when you realize that you're not responsible for certain outcomes after you do everything in your power to achieve them. Now, I talk a lot about the equation E plus R equals O, which E is an event, R is your response, and O is the outcome. And it is true that events will happen, circumstances will happen in your life, but it is your response to those circumstances, your response to those events that will determine the outcome. So you really, in a way, are in control of your outcome, but you're not responsible for certain things in your life that come through uh, based on your response. So something happens in your life, yeah, it probably happened because you were in the wrong time, in wrong place at the wrong time. But what were you doing in the wrong place? I guess you got to ask yourself that question. So in a way, we are in a way responsible for the events that happen in our life. So think about this though. Uh, just try your best regardless of the outcome, and you're going to have a more confident and unwavering view of yourself. So just determine yourself and decide for yourself that you're always going to do your best. I love this quote by Og Mandino. Some of you may not have ever read any Og, but he's really well known for the greatest salesman of the world, in the world, and then he's got the greatest miracle in the world and the greatest success in the world, and kind of goes on and on with the greatest mastery in the world and all these other things. But he also has a book they put together called The University of Success, which is really a compilation of a lot of different really, really great speakers and authors and thought leaders. So it's one thing you might want to look at is the University of Success. But Og said, always do your best, because what you plant now, you will harvest later. And that is the point of doing your best, because you don't know what may come from that. Who noticed that? What did you learn from that? What opportunities opened up for you from doing your best? So always do your best, because you never know where that's going to lead you, as you're planting those seeds for success when you do your best. And if you're not currently doing everything in your power to achieve an outcome, then start doing it today. And if you already are, then sit back and relax and take solace in understanding that you're doing everything you can and cannot ask more of yourself. Now, you really need to do some deep reflection here and make sure that you're just not kidding yourself, right? Saying, well, just do the best you can do and then just don't worry about it. No, that's not what I'm saying here. But if you know that you've done everything that you could possibly do to make something happen, then you're just going to have to say, hey, look, I did everything I could, and now whatever happens, happens. But on the other flip side of that, you've got to do that assessment. And it may be worthwhile to step back and assess whether or not this is a matter of a deficit in a particular skill set. It could be. It could be the fact that you just don't have that skill set. Now, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to decide that you don't need that skill set, don't want to get that skill set? Well, then that goal is not for you. If it is for you, if it's something that you really want and you want to develop that skill set, then that's what you need to do. So change focus a little bit and take the pressure off yourself on achieving the goal until you put in enough hours, enough time to develop that skill set to achieve that goal. Or something in which you're allowing yourself more time to reach your original goal is all that you needed. You're rushing it. You're trying to make things happen too quickly. And sometimes you just got to let things grow. The building blocks lead one thing to another, right? There are natural bridges to different parts of success, and the total of all these little successes, all these mini goals will help you to achieve that larger goal. So look at the time value, look at your skill sets, look at your actions, your key actions, and determine, let's assess whether or not it's something that you need to continue to go after, or just say, look, no, this really wasn't a good goal. And that's what happens so many times when people fail, is that it started out wrong from the beginning because it wasn't a goal you should have had in the first place. And that's one of the big values of coaching, and just having a mentor, having someone else to talk with. And I know many of you out there, they're going after achieve success. Your ego is just your stumbling block. You're not willing to talk to anybody else. No one else knows more than you do, and you got this, and I'm 7 foot tall and bulletproof, and I don't need anybody telling me or looking over my shoulder or counseling with me. Well, if you're failing, look, you look in the mirror. I mean, come on. Take three deeps, take a couple of steps back, get a second opinion, and make sure, because we're just here to help you. We're not here to criticize you negatively. We're here to criticize you positively and make sure that you're going in the right direction. All right. Well, because these questions that you give yourself, that's what lead you to success. They start out with a question mark, and then that filament, those filaments start to grow, and that base starts to grow, and all of a sudden you've got the success. The great idea is there. And these are questions that successful people ask themselves when encountering roadblocks to the outcomes that they want to achieve. And it's some things that as you grow, you will learn that you're looking at these things before you even get started. When you're setting up your goals, we talk about it all the time. You got to look ahead at what those roadblocks might be, not negatively bring them upon yourself, but just look at reality and say, look, these are some of the things that might happen, and how am I going to react if they do? We're just talking about proper preparation here. But look at these questions, because that's what's going to lead you to success. All right. And as soon as you begin attaching your self-worth to the outcomes, that's what most of us do, you'll likely be overcome with emotion. And when you're overcome with emotion, you're less capable of using sound logic to increase your chances of success later down the road. And it's that subconscious and that conscious mind here battling each other. You've got logic, obviously, on the left side of the brain, and you've got emotion on the right side. The right side tied right straight to that heart, right? So you've got to get these two in balance, and if one of them is overbalanced, then the other one's going the wrong way. So you got to get your subconscious on board. Be sure that you let logic know what the plan is, and then you need to respect logic, because the left side of the brain, subconscious side of your mind, is there to protect you and make sure that you're still living and breathing and moving and all these great things. So you got to respect both sides of it. But as soon as you let one of them take over, whatever it is, you're less capable of moving forward, because if your emotions are down, your attitude's going to be down, life is going to suck, and you're not going to want to do anything because you let logic just override the thing, and maybe logic wasn't really true. It's just the memory was there of the subconscious. So be sure that you don't attach your self-worth to these outcomes. Know who you are going in, and realize that, hey, if this happens, it happens. I know it could have happened, and that's fine. We'll take a few steps back, and we'll zig or we'll zag or whatever we got to do. But we can make this thing happen. And if it's not supposed to happen again, it's not supposed to happen. But don't get so wrapped up in it that it's all about you, right? No, I'm just not good enough. Well, no, you're good enough. You're just maybe not good enough, like I said, skill-wise, or at this particular moment, for what you're trying to achieve. So just take a few steps back and achieve what you can, and get the logical steps taken so that you can move forward. All right. Well, in order to overcome failure, you must experience a dramatic shift in your outlook on the meaning of failure and success. And a lot of us, when we first start out, we don't. We don't even know what success is. A lot of us just think success is dollar signs. Success is fame. Oh man, wherever I go, I want everybody to know who I am. Well, you may not. Trust me. Ask Tony Robbins if he can ever go anywhere and get peace. That's a lot of movie stars. They can never go anywhere peacefully and just have a good time, right? They all got to wear sunglasses and ball caps, and maybe shave off their beard or whatever it is, or put on a beard or something, so that they're not noticed. But you need to really take a serious look at what failure and success mean to you. And that's a huge part of coaching and mentoring. Because no matter how much you want to be a Hollywood star, for instance, if the steps that you're capable of taking to bring yourself closer to that goal are limited at this point in time, you'll be subjecting yourself to a constant state of stress by continually expecting yourself to achieve greater results. And you got to get into this pity party syndrome. I'm not good enough. It's never going to happen, just because you're rushing it. Just sit back, do some meditations, de-stress, get your goals out there, get your objectives out there. Again, get you a mentor. If you need psychological assistance, get some psychological assistance, whatever it is. But know, what you're capable of doing in particular time frame. Obviously, we're pretty much all capable of doing anything we want to do. It's just, what is the time frame that's going to be possible? So, and again, overnight success is generally not overnight success. Overnight success is generally the result of decades of work and frustration and time, getting ready and preparation, and all of a sudden you're boomeranged into success. Well, no, it was just another logical step. It was going to happen because you mastered what you needed to master to become a success. So if you want your name there, just get to work. Get a plan that makes sense, that can logically and emotionally get you there on an even keel. But let's look at the meaning of failure and success for yourself. Patience is going to be your friend in changing your thinking about these fundamental concepts. And it's always a virtue that nearly all successful individuals possess in ample amounts. Now, I call it perseverance. I don't necessarily call it patience, but perseverance, just hanging in there. Patience seems to be, well, you know what, I'll just wait here and whatever happens, right? No. Well, perseverance says, and that word tells me, I'm willing to do whatever it takes and withstand whatever it takes to get there. Now, some of you may use patience as endurance or stoicism or humility or whatever, forbearance, whatever, or calm, whatever it is. But think about it, and a lot of times you need all these things. I mean, when things happen in your life, if you get all bent out of shape about it, everything that happens in your life, you're not being a patient person, and calm is what you need, peace in your life. So that's where meditation and affirmations come in. Restraint, sometimes you got to, sometimes you got to bite that lip all the way through sometimes just to hang in there. But patience needs, and perseverance needs to be your friend, and it's gonna help you change the way you think about success and failure. Because successful people have it. There's no doubt about it. You gotta be able to hang in there. Remember, the bottom line is never give up. Just keep trying. Do the best you can and focus on the process instead of the outcome. Remember that slide a few slides back. Process, success. That's just what's going to be. It's a process that it's going to crescendo into success. So just concentrate on the process. Focus on the process. And the outcome's going to happen. And the final result is going to be success. So the three things, the bottom line for this entire session is work hard, dream big, and never give up. Just hang in there and keep on rolling. All right. Well, next time, we're going to reflect a little bit. It's going to be time to reflect because this session 9 wraps up module 1 of overcoming obstacles. We've got 4 modules. This is the longest one. But in our next session, we're going to summarize and reflect on what we discovered in the first 9 sessions. So we're going to take a little bit of a breather, go back, catch up, make sure that we picked up everything we should have in the first 9 sessions before we get into the second module. But before we do any of that, we got some to-dos, as we always do. And here's what I need you to do today. We're going to look at how has your view of failure impacted your thoughts and actions in the past. So again, let's go back to a couple things. One is to find success again, and that's to find failure. But how has your view of failure impacted your thoughts and actions in the past? I mean, has it just really thrown you for a loop? And how long did it throw you in the loop? And what brought you out of that depression or took that stress off of you? So let's look at this real hard this week as how has your view of failure impacted your thoughts and actions in the past. And then imagine what your life would be like if you were free of the fear of failure. Because generally what you're going to find is that those failures did throw some fear into you. Oh, I'm not going to be trying that again. I mean, it happens a lot with young sales reps who have to do a lot of cold calling or have to get out and do a lot of phone calling, is they have that fear of even picking up the phone or having that conversation, and not realizing that, hey, cold calling is nothing more than going out and meeting friends and meeting people and just being yourself and having a good time. If you put your pressure on yourself and think that every cold call has to come, the outcome has to be an immediate sale, then yeah, you're going to wreck yourself up. That's just not going to happen. But if you go out and just be yourself and be cheerful and go out and meet people and have fun and get that relationship solidified and let the outcomes happen as they will, then again, you're going to be concentrating on the process and not so much on the outcome. Well, all right. Well, let's talk about some affirmations. We got one for this week called I get up quickly when I fall. I've got a couple other things in here for you too, if you want to reach out to us. Now, those of you in the A to B for Me community, you've got these in your resources tab. How to rise above any situation gone awry. That's about 10 points in there for you. And then what Twinkies can teach about resiliency. And that's a lot of fun in that one. We got a lot of cool points in that one. But let's go ahead and let's look at the affirmation for today, which is, I get up quickly when I fall. The experience makes me stronger. Remember my dog from last week? Lord, it can't be easier, help me be stronger. Well, here's an affirmation for you. I get up quickly when I fall because my strength is determined by my resolve to move forward, regardless of setbacks. When I am determined to succeed, a simple fall only fuels my drive. No matter how many times I fall, I wipe the dust off my knees and carry on. Sometimes in my walk, I may stumble, which sets me back. But a minor stumble may prevent me from falling. When I stumble, I hold on to the lessons that I have learned in the past to help me stand strong once again. Hope stays with me when I fall because when I hit the ground, the only direction to go is up. I can look forward to tomorrow because I will enter the day with new wisdom, and my vision stays close to my heart even if I have to make adjustments to my plans. I keep my dignity when I fall because my true character is revealed at the lowest point. Even when I have made a mistake, I continue to be an intelligent person worthy of admiration and respect. Without overanalyzing my mistakes, I evaluate my actions in order to learn and grow. I refrain from judging myself too harshly in order to preserve my spirit, and I offer myself the same forgiveness that I give freely to others. Today, I choose to get up quickly from my falls that I may experience. I learn from my mistakes and become a stronger person, ready to face the challenges of the day. Now, I think that's an awesome affirmation for you to start reading if you're having issues with failing. And let's look at these self-reflection questions for you. How does a fall make me stronger? Now look at that and do a reflection on that. When I fall in the past, how did I get stronger? And when was the last time I overcame a minor stumble? And third, why must I get up quickly when I fall? That's the old getting back up on the horse thing there. but consider these three self-reflection questions for yourself. And again, if you want a copy of this, just reach out to us. If you're in the group, it's in the resources section. Or you can just go back through and copy it yourself or record it, whatever you need to do. And then also, again, in resources is how to rise above any situation gone awry. And I think we've got 10 points here that you can go through real quick. It's like 4 pages here. And then I've got another one, what Twinkies can teach you about resiliency, which is pretty funny. It's a good one. It's relevant, but it's good. But reach out to us if you're not in the group and you want to copy that. I'm happy to to help you out with that. So just let me know. Let's get out of this real quick and get back to the show. All right. Well, that is it for today. I want to thank you for attending, and I want you to have an awesome week. We're going to, like I said, next session, we are going to go over. I thought I had it here. No, I don't. But next session, we are going to go over lesson 10, which is a review of what we've done over the first 9 weeks. So if you missed anything or feel like you just didn't get enough out or may have missed a point, come around next Wednesday and we'll go through it all briefly again and touch on the top points for you. If you missed any, again, hop up to YouTube, go ahead and join so you don't miss any more. And then when we do these and post them, they'll be there for you. Get a little email or message about that. You can listen to us on Anchor FM, always, on Spotify there. A lot of different channels. I think we're in like 9-10 countries now, so pretty excited about that. Or Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We always post out there. Most of these are posted in our Facebook group, maybe for a limited time, but we've got them out there for you. And again, if you want to schedule a one-on-one strategy session with me, just go to a2bforme.info/15 with Don, and we'll get that scheduled for you. All right. Well, y'all have a great week. I'm going to hop back in here and say goodbye to you, and then just tell you, hey, we've got Thrive Thursday going on tomorrow. Got a really good one. It's a fun one tomorrow. We'll have, and they all kind of tie into what we're talking about during the rest of the week. But come back to us for Thrive Thursday, and then for those of you in the A to B for Me group, we'll have a Finish Strong Friday for you this week. So kind of going to wrap up the week for you and get you rolling into to next week. So if you're in A to B for Me community, you'll get the email and you'll be ready for that. But thanks for attending. Have an awesome week and keep moving in the direction of your dreams.